All right, Mr. Sharp, what's up? I see you. Uncle Frank, y'all getting it early? I mean, it's really early for Frank. Straight up. I don't think they fixed whatever problem they was talking about fixing on here. Because right away, stuff was a mess. I'm about to hit him back. He hit me up at the wrong time. But this video ain't even for no hits or views or clicks and none of that stuff that they got jammed up right now. This video was meant for one human being in particular who took something I said out of context. Now, it happens. Okay, it's happened 1,000 times. Probably a million. Out of videos I do, people hear something and they take a different angle out of it every time. Now, the rapper who said it, I respect a lot. I really do. I ain't just saying it to cap and all that, but no, I respect him because he gets it. You know, he's always smart. So I just wanted to clarify some things. And I'm sad that they didn't send the notifications out and all this stuff for this one because I would wanted this one to be heard. But let's stay with where we are right now. I guess that'll deal with it. There are so many different aspects of what goes on when you're talking about hip hop and different levels and different positions of where an artist is. Like you would never put Jay-Z in the same room with Quando Rondo, right? They both rappers, but we already mentally know that they're not on the same level. You know, I'm just using them for an example. Now, here's the thing. A certain rapper says some things about something that I had said in a video, saying that, you know, rappers got to come to the internet now and talking about Fat Joe and his podcast, you know, and now they all doing podcasts. They all running to the internet now. And was like, I was gloating about it. And there was a reason for that. I should have explained it then. I thought I did. But let me clarify that. The reason I said that and I state that, I don't have a problem with rappers coming to the internet making money. I don't. I have no problem with it whatsoever. Do what you got to do to keep the lights on. But I say that in that tone because rappers were the ones that was dumping on people on the internet. We were peons to them and they didn't have any respect. So when you didn't have any respect for it, not you per se, the artist, but the most of the rappers in hip hop did not respect what people on the internet was doing. They treated them like just regular peons. They weren't media. They didn't write for a magazine. They was just some people on the internet, just some fans. So they treated them just like fans and didn't respect the work they were putting in, didn't respect their platforms, didn't respect anything that they were doing because they would associate it with just one thing and would see one other person who was sloppy and would just run off and do what they were doing. So it's not like, and not believe me, everybody ain't laughing to the bank. Okay, I wish I was laughing to the bank. All right, but no, not everybody's doing that. There's a big, large gap in between that and going laughing to the bank. Something, you know, I got to fight every day just to get notifications sent out. As you can see today, notifications wasn't sent out. So that's my fight every day. And I speak on this from experience because I've seen the rappers do it, and one tried to do it with me. And I'm like, I don't have to interview a rapper at all, period. I don't choose to. I don't try to chase him down like, hey, let me get an interview with you. It'd be cool if you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's even better for me. If nobody was in hip hop, and I give you saying, if it wasn't for us giving you the material, what would you talk about? The majority of the material that the rappers give me is not good material. It's always something bad. And I'm sitting around talking about it and saying, like, man, how illogical this is. So the majority of the material they give us is not really good material. It's not really positive. Some of the old school stuff, like, yeah, that was cool, but not most of the modern stuff, not really positive. But even if there was no hip hop, I do other things. I talk about basketball, football, boxing. I talk about life. So I would always have something to do or talk about. But I wanted to address that because I felt you took that the wrong way, and you did. But it's cool. I'll never forget a rapper saw a video I did, reached out to me to give me props for that video. And then said rapper said that, hit me up and we could do some things. Gave me his contact numbers, gave me everything. I'm like, all right. I hit up said rapper and said, such and such just happened. Do you want to talk about it? We could do it on the thing. Yeah, I will, but I'll call you though. Just wait for me. I'm like, all right, just wait for you. All right, maybe busy. Then he sends a text that said, call me at such and such time. And I'm like, such and such time. Okay. And whatever time he had put, because that's why I said such and such, because I don't remember the time. So he put a time. I'm supposed to call him and meet him back. So I called him at that time and he was like, yo, man. Then I just said, wait for me. I got you. I got you. Wait for me. I'm like, you just told me to hit you back. I ain't got time for this. When you want to do it, you'll call me. So I don't talk to him. A month go by. 2 months go by. 3 months go by. Then said rapper is saying the same thing and sitting down with somebody else. I didn't get mad. I didn't care. I said, bet. Said rapper can do that. Because I don't chase people for interviews. That's not what I do. You wanted to do it. But this is what I say. This is what they do to people on the internet. They think like we work for them. Some of them, most of them, they look down upon it. Now, when they get older, long in the tooth, and the career is going, now they running to the internet. Now the internet is where the money is. Now the internet is, now it's popping. Now it's, hey, we got to show up to the internet. But these are the people that was dissing. That's what I was bringing up to you. And that's what the point I was making. Don't disrespect and then come over there and try to be a part of it. So when I see people like Fat Joe, because when he was with Ross and Wayne, they was dumping on the internet. Internet was just somewhere they could peddle their music. That was just it. That's all they cared about. Promoting mixtapes and jumping out of there. So I remember when they was doing that back then. All right, don't forget to hit the like button, good people. No, so I remember when it was like that, before it became the popular thing to do is to jump on the internet. Right, you got celebs on there, the whole nine. So the whole thing was taken out of context. Period. Like I'm not mad that they here, but it's like now you gotta show some respect because you guys was dissing this for a long time. So when they come, most of them, not saying you, but most who came over here, they were dissing it first. They were dissing it hard. 90% of the rappers in the world are broke. Like broke. MC Hammer broke. I'm talking about broke. And they got music videos out. They in videos in Maybachs. No need to say their names and stuff, but they know they broke. It's like what Adrian Broner called rich broke. They might do a show for 200,000, but they owe 600. Six nine is broke. You see, that's one thing people get misunderstood by the numbers. People see the numbers and they see all the stuff in lights. They see all the stuff this kid is getting as loans. He's got to pay that back with the record sales and everything else. He has no buzz, no interest. Nobody's interested in him. No radio station is touching him. He's not getting any interviews. He's not getting promoted right. He thought DJ Alabama was gonna get him all these hits and views, and help him out and blow him up. But now DJ Alabama's out of a job. So when you start seeing all of the stuff that's transpiring, and you go, "Wow, okay, I get it now." So when y'all was on the gravy train talking about promoting people like Snitch Nine, and oh man, he cool, he be trolling. I keep telling y'all that hits a wall eventually. Everybody laughs until everybody stops laughing, and then you can't get them to laugh no more. And that's exactly what happened now. He took one joke too far, and nobody laughed. Well, you got to look at it from all different aspects, of the game. Well, it's not just arrogance. Arrogance is a part of it, but it's it's a lot of maturity and not understanding, not having the right people around you. Because when you're on the internet, you feel invincible. You feel like can't nobody touch you. You're in the safety of your surroundings. Nothing can happen to you. Like you're never gonna go out into the world. And people have to respect that power. And they don't. They use it and they abuse the power. And then we unfortunately get grouped in a whole big man, they just be on there dumping on everybody. It's not like that. And normally, if I'm talking about somebody bad, I individually are talking about them. Like I would name them. I would say you. I would definitely name the person I'm talking about, and I'll have reason to do so. Now, the game has changed over the years. The game has changed so much because what used to not be acceptable is now acceptable. And these are from the majors. There's only about 4 record labels now in the record business. All of them has been condensed down to 4 labels, 4 major labels. So the rap, what they look for now and what they sign as rappers that they want to give the record deals to are people who can't even they couldn't put 16 bars together to save their life. Like the people that push their music through, you wouldn't even believe. They look nothing like them. Don't come from where they come from. Don't know half of the lingo they talking about. And will listen to it and go, oh yeah, that's great. We can give you right now $60,000 signing bonus right here. You get 60,000 to sign. We can get you a 5-album deal right here. Your first 3 albums. They come right. They coming right with. They coming right with a contract. No more about. Right. No more about trying to educate people. No more about any rapper that tried to come in talking like that was escorted out the door. So when you look at the faces of this rap business and you look at them and you say to yourself, man, you know, I wish I got to that level. Man, I wish I accomplished this, or I wish I had a chance to do that. That's saying something. You wish you can do these things, but you had the opportunity to. What they did was kill your conscience. They submerge your conscience to believe you need them more than ever. People are lazy to be independent now. We all want to follow into somebody else's footsteps. That didn't used to be cool. It's like, man, okay, I want to do something like that, but I'm gonna do this and put my own thing to it. It's no more of that. It's like I want to do exactly what he's doing, and I'm gonna copy him. And that's the game today. They want to make a song that sound like Migos. They want to make a song that sound like Drake. I need to make a song that sound like. I need to make a song that sound like this guy. I need to make a song that sound like the next guy. So when you look at all the deals in totality, you saying to yourself, okay, the game is screwed up. The game is not designed for you to be rich and successful and for them to be rich and successful. You're going to be paper rich. On paper, it's going to say you're worth all this money, but liquid wise, you're not. And once your term is over, you're done. It's just like an NBA player. You wonder how an NBA player can go broke. It's very easy. And a professional athlete, they can give you 30, 40 million a year. And you're like, dude, how can you lose that money? Because they're going to hit them with a luxury tax. Then they're going to get hit with whatever state tax they have. Then they're going to buy houses for people that can't afford it in their family, like their moms and everything else. And you got to pay the taxes on these houses. Then their cousins and uncles going to own a house. And now you got to deal with them because you felt like you owe them. And by the time you buy yourself a big, got to get yourself one bigger than them. So now you're living in a $5.6 million mansion. Then your career is through. And now your lifestyle that you have become accustomed to living like with your jewelry, your trips, exoticness. Now you going up here making millions of dollars. Now that you're not playing in the sport no more, you down to making maybe $100,000 and you're on TV. Yeah, and they need to run the ball and get McGrady involved. And I think McGrady is grown into now you got to do a job. You got to get up at 6, 7 in the morning, prep, and go to work to try to keep some lights on and bills paid because you weren't smart with the money and used it to invest. You didn't try to create new revenue streams. You tried to get a record label. You know, things of this nature is a cycle. And when you see things that are usually like a cycle, you try to break it. When you see a cycle with something that's not working, you get involved and say, hey, this isn't working. We need to change the game. Because what we're doing is a destructive pattern. It's like, okay, we see the cliff and we're doing some Wile E. Coyote stuff and we keep going right over the cliff. Why don't we stop going over the cliff and say, hey, let's get this together? What rappers should have did and what Nipsey wanted to do, and that's why I like the way Nipsey came at me, because it was genius what he was talking about doing. He was reinverting the game. By Nipsey not really coming out and dropping an album, signing with a label, that means they couldn't cap him with another artist or record label he had signed to previously. That meant that any other deal he had done with somebody else, had he signed it, now they can cap him and say, well, you know, your other album did this. They can't evaluate him off that. So they have no way to scale him, to short him of money. So now he got a buzz. He had a name in the street before he even got his first. That was like his first album, period. So when he was coming up and he was promoting it, he ran into that problem with DJ Algebra on the show when they was trying to get him caught in some controversy with 6ix9ine, and he didn't want to play ball. And because he didn't want to play ball, they just killed the whole interview when he was on his press tour. So when they did that, and that's when he reached out and started talking about doing a podcast show, but with real people. He wanted to choose myself, and I was honored that I was chose. Out of all these people out there, he's like, I watch you. I agree with everything you say. I want to do a podcast with you, and we want to sit down. That way, no one can dictate the content. No one's telling us, we don't have a boss to tell us what we can talk about, whether it's social issues or whatever. They couldn't dictate to us what could be said. Now, take YouTube, for example. YouTube sat up here and had the president, what's her name, Susan. She sat up there and did a video. And I remember it was in the creators thing, talking about their support for Black Lives Matter. Like we here at YouTube, we support Black Lives Matter. And we do this and we do that. And I said, wow, that's amazing. Because I was asked, did I want to be a part of YouTube Black by YouTube? I had never heard of YouTube Black a day in my life. YouTube came and sent me an offer. Do I want to be a part? And do I want to sign up for YouTube Black? And I asked them, I said, is there a such thing as YouTube White? What the hell is YouTube Black? So naturally, I blew that off. So when I blew that off, I didn't know like where they were coming from or anything. And I didn't even know if it was a YouTube Black even existed. But they just did a whole thing talking about they support Black Lives Matter. Whenever somebody try to talk about subjects that's happening with Black people in the world or the USA, and people talk about that, they trying to demonetize them. Oh, that video can't be monetized. It is too controversial. But then you just did a video talking about Black Lives Matter. But you trying to suppress Black people from talking about stuff that's happening to them. So right. Why come and how come some teeny Caucasian kid who might be 16, 17-year old in his house, never really been outside, in his basement, he can get 3 million views, no notification issues, none going on with his page whatsoever. But somebody Black from the neighborhood who talking about things that's happening around their corner, they can't get their notifications. They're not being sent out. They sending them all kind of things, telling them, "Oh, we sorry, we can't do that. Advertisers don't feel safe on your page." All of these things, but then you say Black Lives Matter and made a video saying it that you support it. How? Thank you. Thank you, Gregors. Where you from? Are you from the Ukraine? I mean, and most of these girls' minds are they're so ripped apart. They so mentally ripped apart. Now, some might say, "Well, what do you mean by that?" What I mean is this: their minds are ripped apart because there's it's a really simple thing. Um, when you see certain people in certain places, people normally adjust to their new environment. And others don't adjust well. They change. And it's okay to evolve and change and mature and become smarter, but they change to the mentality. And people, they throw tests at you to see where you change. Or are you on the same thing? And they'll say something to see how a reaction will come from you. And based on that reaction, man, y'all didn't even hit the like button. It's like 300 y'all in here, y'all ain't even hitting the like button. They throw that out there to see how you're going to react to it. And if you don't react a certain way, then they know they can't deal with you. They know that, yeah, we can't do business with him. So they put these scenarios in front of you just to see how you can react in certain environments. And me, I had blamed 90s rappers. I said 90s rappers messed this up because instead of unifying and coming together, they did not. They stayed individually in their groups and went out and got themselves a deal. They went out and got themselves a contract. They went out and got their own little record label. They didn't know what they were doing. They got their little imprint because it was going to get them the bag. They never thought about, we need to probably come together and create something. Like we need to really get together and control the distribution part of the business. Nobody was thinking like that. Everybody was cool with the little bit that they were getting, and they were balling out of control, and the money went as fast as they made it. Now, all the rappers that's rich in the game, a lot of them got rich in other places that had nothing to do with music. So the music is just the vessel that's going to help you. If you get famous in this game, it's only about 4 or 5 rich rappers. That's the truth. What's the guy, Chamillionaire? The man put out a rap album without any profanity in it, and he fooled the record company. They thought it was profanity in it. They thought his music, he was about to get a warning label automatically printed on his album, and he wasn't even using profanity. He had fooled his own record label. They could have sworn Riding Dirty had profanity in it. They was like, there was no profanity. No, it's no profanity. And you know what? He made more money outside of the business than inside the business. And like I spoke earlier, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the rapper who chose to go do the sit down somewhere else. I'm not mad that he even did that. I'm not mad at that because he's a grown man. He can do what they want to do. I'm not going to chase you, though. I didn't reach out to you. You reached out to me. If you believe Jeezy owned half of Atlanta, if you believe Jeezy owned half of Atlanta, first off, property in Atlanta is not hard to get. Okay, it's a lot of cheap property in Atlanta, Georgia, because of the way it's structured and the way it was. Rich people didn't live there. Okay, and most of the things like Cardi B, what she's doing is putting a lot of poor black people out of their homes, buying them out rather, and she's buying up a whole 2 blocks, and they don't know what she's gonna do with it. They think she's building a mansion. So we'll see what happens. But they're buying these people properties out for these houses don't cost a lot, bro. Oh, y'all didn't know? She bought like all those. Most of them were vacant houses, and some people, black people, lived there for many years, and they just buying them out because they need all that property in a row. So they buying them out, giving them money to buy out their houses because they probably finna build a mansion over there or whatever they build. They could renovate and build some new property over there. It would be more lucrative than putting a mansion. Mansion would be a waste of your money. Like Killer Mike owns houses. He probably own more property than Jeezy. But look, I'm not even gonna scoff at that. If Jeezy, even though he owns some property, is still valuable because in Atlanta, the property value gonna just keep going up if people keep coming to Atlanta, keep buying houses. They're gonna keep raising the property value. So eventually, it'd be worth something. So I'm not gonna scoff at him for that. But he don't own half of Atlanta, dog. That's just him talking. That's rapper talk. Jeezy is always exaggerated. Rappers exaggerate. By now, you should already know a rapper will exaggerate. Well, the public perception, Ja Rule changed. Ja Rule should have stayed doing